I am offering this resolution that the committee direct the chairman to issue a subpoena for relevant documents and testimony under oath from Donald John Trump in connection with the January 6th attack on the United States Capitol.
Mr. Chairman, on this vote, there are 9 ayes and 0 noes.
The resolution is agreed to.
So with that, the resolution was agreed to. They are going to be subpoenaing Donald Trump to cooperate with and testify before the January 6th committee. Now, will he actually do that? That's a different question. Should he actually do that? That's a far spicier question, I think. And we're going to dive into all of that, but you should know that we won't necessarily know for a little bit exactly how this is going to go. They're drafting the paperwork. Then there's going to be a period of time where he has to respond. And if he doesn't choose to cooperate, then the actual appeal on that could take literally months, which isn't just like frustrating because you'd have to wait for it. It's way worse than that. If he decides not to do it, and if they drag out the appeals process until December, January, February, that's the same exact thing as dragging it out for 100 years, because there's a very real chance that the Democrats won't be in control anymore. The January 6th committee won't exist anymore. And then Trump wouldn't have to do it if he doesn't want to. So with that as the backdrop, what do we know so far about Donald Trump's interest or willingness to actually engage in this? Well, he clearly hates the committee. He's been clear about that for months before it even existed. So that's true. But he has been telling aides, at least, that he would look forward to testifying before the committee so he could probably spout a bunch of conspiratorial nonsense. But that doesn't mean that he actually will do it. Bragging to aides about how you take on Liz Cheney is different than actually sitting down, being sworn in, and risking perjury as you're asked questions about what you did and didn't do, what you said and didn't say. And so while this morning he put out this statement, you can see a shot of the top of it. He's titled his memo to Benny Thompson, "Peacefully and Patriotically." And the first line, what the former president of the United States sent to them is, "The presidential election of 2020 was rigged and stolen." And it only gets more conspiratorial from there. He literally at one point blames black voters in urban areas for stealing the election from him, amongst a lot of other nonsense. And so he does say at the end of it, "At your request, I will present these additional numbers to you," saying that he would do it maybe, but theoretically only live, and only so he could say like something that he saw in 2000 Mules or something. So Ben, what do you think? Is this gonna happen? Should he actually do it?
Well, I admire several things in this statement. One, the fact that he is saying out loud yet again what the Republican Party has said in their actions for so long. They blame African American voters for voting, not for them. What a crime against this country that is, voting in their own interest and not voting in the interest of people trying to literally take away their vote. How wild. Secondly, you did point out accurately, John, that he does not like this committee or believe in it, but still might testify before it, which tracks for Donald Trump because he also clearly does not like or respect America. But that doesn't mean he doesn't want to speak in front of it all the time either. The man will take any audience, whether hostile or not, whether a place that cares for him or not, as long as he gets a little more airtime. I think I even thought of a solution this morning that might be the perfect ending for Donald Trump is put him on Celebrity Big Brother, give him a 24-hour camera, but have that season of Celebrity Big Brother take place from inside a jail. Everybody wins.
I'd tune in, at least to the first. I'll give any show one episode, basically. Yeah. Look. My guess would be that after this very carefully constructed set of hearings, I don't think they would want him to testify live because that would be, well, I can't express with the language restrictions we're under what that would be like. But you get the idea. It would be wild. We'll say that. And if they would, what's that?
Well, sorry to interrupt, but I just found it to be such a strange move that they did this right at the very end of all of their hearings, because it just kind of gives Trump power again at the end to like control the narrative of a thing they've carefully constructed. I mean, literally at the end of their supposedly last live hearing, they're like, but we might do one more where we invite the guy who we're accusing to come and lie to all of you and turn it into a circus live on the air. It just seems really strange. Obviously, if he does come, he's going to lie. And it now brings up whether they can end the whole committee before the midterms, or before the Congress switches over, at least like they intend. And so it just seems a very strange move, and I don't know what their exact goal is here.
Yeah, my assumption would be they'd want it to be behind closed doors so that the craziest of the lies they wouldn't have to actually have broadcast live. But it's an opportunity where we know that Donald Trump, when he sits down, while he's good at communicating, not in terms of making sense or being sane or not being the worst, he's usually good at telling the right what they want to hear. When you are under oath, he's going to commit crimes. He's going to commit perjury. I mean, remember, as I pointed out in our coverage yesterday, sitting down with Chris Matthews got him to say, I would punish the woman for having an abortion. And Lester Holt got him to say, I fired Comey for the Russia thing. And who was the journalist that got him to admit that he did consider COVID to be super serious, but he needed to say that he doesn't? Like, when that dude sits down, he just says stuff. And often not under, penalty of jail time. And so they might be able to wrap this thing up just getting him to admit to stuff live in the committee.
Also, how are they going to get him to agree and not have it be live? They even said in their statement, this all points to him. The American people deserve to hear directly from him. To then say, but we're going to tape it and only show you the parts we like, seems antithetical to hearing directly from him. And you're right, he does say things live, but I don't think he's afraid of saying something wrong and there being any consequences. He's done it his whole life. He called BS on the Constitution and he was right. Thus far, he's right because he has not been held to account. I'm surprised his legal team hasn't literally pulled out also President Trump hasn't used his get out of jail free card yet. And nowhere in Monopoly does it say this can't be used as a legal card.
That's a good point. I'm gonna check the rules this weekend as I'm playing board games. But
I've looked.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.